Folks, mental inhibitions, and more importantly, emotions, are categorically spoiling your chess game. Now, what I mean by this is chess is all played up here. It is entirely played in the mind. So it's inevitable. It's inevitable that emotions are bound to get in the way. If you're feeling a bit down or a bit tired, just generally a bit slumped and sapped of energy, that will have an impact in a mental game such as this. So what can we do to prevent that? This is a rehash, a part 2 of a video I've already done, how to improve chess mentality. So I would strongly encourage you to go and watch that. I'll leave a link somewhere in the video. Let's get right in. First point I have for you is stemming from this game of my own. I have the white pieces and I see the shiny gold coin sacrifice that is just begging to be played. Bishop g5. Alright, it doesn't work. I'm only human. Rag and bone man merchant. We play on a little bit, but black does just have an extra piece, and my pieces are falling off the board. And we have this position, where black is just doing an incredibly good job at cocooning. A queen trade is all but forced, because my queen has nowhere to go. My pieces are just burning out, and this bishop, even though it stares into spicy dark squared pawn wall, that will be the deciding factor. There's nothing I can really do. Again, book time. I only have... Oh my god. What's going on? I only have 3 minutes. My opponent has 6. He's got double the amount of time I have. So why does my opponent go bishop f6 and blunder queen g8 in a single move? I would love to sit here and tell you that you can just play moves on a whim. Me attack queen, me win game. You can't. This brings me into my first point. Concentration. You have to concentrate for every single move both you and your opponent plays, whether that's across 3 minutes in a blitz game, 10 in a rapid, 60 in a classical, I don't know, but you have to concentrate for them all. So why, when you are not in a fit state for said level of concentration, would you put yourself through it? It just doesn't make sense. All right, if you want to play some bullet or blitz for fun, I completely get that. Chess is a hobby, first and foremost. But if you are looking to improve, do not subject yourself to playing under such conditions of fatigue or stress. Because then a 2000 rated player, flick off a naught on the end, turns into a 200 and plays something like this. That is what happens. How many seconds played on this move? 15. And the next example I have for you is time pressure. So time management issues, on the whole, they stem from anxiety about a position, or generally speaking are stress induced. Sometimes you'll be checking over your moves twice, thrice, 4 times to make sure they're right, when in a better frame of mind you would play the move instantly because you know it's good. This is where time management really comes into play, and in this position my opponent goes queen takes b7, which is a blunder because after rook b8, queen a6 and rook b6, you have to give the queen up for the rook. Fantastic. This is not a time management issue, this is just taking a poison pawn and it doesn't work. Let's watch how I convert this game. That's the real key. 7.5 minutes to 7:15. Let's go. b1, I step out the way to try and gobble this pawn and create an outside passer. That's a pretty good plan. Rook b7, rook d8, bishop comes out, knight b4 now, trapping the rook in that corner, and he just gives it up. Fantastic. Everything that I could want has been given to me, and now I'm up a full minute on the clock. All is going well thus far. Bishop f5, rook e7, 2 passed pawns down the centre of the board does create some complications. So here I go knight a6, knight c2, queen c5 to try and stifle the pawns, knight d4, and I think I can take one of the pawns. Now you'll notice my time hasn't gone in one big chunk from just calculating one particularly tricky line. It's gone in marginal little rolling pieces because I am bricking it in this game. I'm pooing my pants trying to convert this position because I know I'm completely winning. In here, I know this is winning, and I know that there should be nothing white can do. I'm bricking it. I'm so scared of messing this up and dashing my mouse at a wall or something. So after knight d4, take this pawn, and a beautiful resource now, d6. d6 pretty well equalises the game, and I am down on the clock. The idea being, look at this diagonal here, which I have to keep guarded with the rook. I go rook e5, and here d7 is evens. We would play queen c7 to protect the promotion square, and it just becomes a big Hail Mary, to be quite honest. I'm not going to go into all the lines, but Computer Overlord says so, so, you know, who am I but to listen. We see rook b1 instead. I sack, again because I'm scared, albeit this is a pretty sensible decision. I sack because I'm absolutely terrified. Look, that took me another 30 seconds or so. Takes, queen e6, hit the knight, and hopefully dislodge it from this pawn, but rook d1 is just incredible. You can't take the knight. d7 crashes through, and what are you going to do? Again, still bricking it. 2 minutes, 12 seconds, and then knight c5 down to 1 minute 38. My opponent up on the clock. Rook d5, a cocoon. My greatest asset is now gone. Pass pawn has been just absolutely diminished. King f7. And it's just a frenzy now at this point. I've gone from completely winning to just panicking. Throw some checks in. Okay, computer does say I'm winning, but I don't know where to find it. I'm just nervous. It's 56 seconds versus 37. We're just playing moves. King d8. My opponent clearly far better suited to these kind of awful conditions. Finds the incredible rook d7. Because if you take, knight jumps in, we take the queen, and then king g3 to follow, and that is a winning king and pawn endgame. By this point, I'm just staring at the board, tear trickling down my eye. But we go on. King c8, rook h7, queen e2. White is winning now, really. Okay, winning may be a strong term, but white has a very good advantage. What do? I just shuffle around. All I have to my name is that one queen, and I win on time like a fraud. This is just miserable. Okay, I won, but do I have any sense of pride for winning this game? No, I botched the whole thing because I was nervous and scared. It gets all of us, it really, really does. Although I've come away with the points, my opponent here, he's the one that goes away with the pride. And further to that, look at time pressures, but from a slightly different perspective now. You'll notice the clocks here, we have just a very normal position. This is, what can I say, just bog standard. You'll notice the clocks, 9.5 to 9 minutes. My opponent plays h6, spent 6 minutes on that move. Oh, I just did a big snake tongue thing there. My opponent had to go somewhere, I don't know. They offered me a draw, and I would always advocate taking them, but again, I was low on morale and very much low on steam. So I figured I would just take the easy win, again, pretty fraudulently. But the game is the game, that's neither here nor there. I back up, rook e8, and, we're just playing moves. I go a3 straight away. Why I do that with 8 seconds when I could have just stopped to focus? There's quite clearly a pin here. That's something I should be seeing, especially with pretty well all my time on the clock. But I'm trying to match his tempo. He's playing really fast. That's why I want to play really fast, because the faster I play, the faster the game is over. But it's still an evens position, and you can just keep playing this until he runs out of time. a3, I blunder this. And okay, we can just keep going. It's not too bad. Queen gets invited in. Then rook c8, and this is just god-awful. Again, I play rook c8 because I'm getting pieces off the board. Trades are good. Not like this. Really, really not like this. My opponent is spending no time at all. And I'm just panicking. I am just terrified of what is going on in this position. Still, I think, oh, I don't quite realise how bad it is, admittedly. I should still be able to convert this because he's only got 3 minutes on the clock. But he had 3 minutes like 3 minutes ago from what it felt like. He goes rook c2, which is just mental, but bear with me because it does still hot up. Obviously, I take. Again, completely wrong. This is a panic-induced move. This is caused by stress. I know I can find bishop f4, which is the cleanest win. Then the queen gets dislodged from the rook. Then when I take the rook, he would probably just resign. I would have queen d3 ideas, bring the rook to the open file, and I'm just up so much material that it wouldn't even be worth playing. That would be the game over. I'm the one with 8 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock, so why don't I find that move? He's the one with 2:27. He's the one that's got to be playing with impulse. I'm the one that's got the time. But, okay, take free rook, me see rook, me take. Take back, queen d1, looking for a trade. Queen e4. Rook c1, just eyeing up the open file. We're just playing moves. I look for a queen trade again. But this does allow knight e4. e4 a little bit too much, but the position still evens, and he only has a minute and a half, so whatever. None of it really matters anyway. King h2, bishop f6, rook d1 to guard the pawn, h5, h4, just so he doesn't play h4 himself and move my bishop. Queen g4, queen d3 to guard the bishop, bishop h4, and king g1. I've just messed the whole thing up. But again, he's only got 31 seconds on the clock, but now I'm down to 4 minutes. I'm not using my time wisely, I'm using my time out of fear. Take, knight g3, rook e1, get my rook out of the way of the queen and any possible checks that could be on here I don't want to get involved with. Knight e4, and then the final panic station move arrives. I look at his clock and go, he's got 20 seconds, the game's done, it's all over. Wait, pause, my bad, we're not there yet. Queen c2, queen h4, hitting my rook. So I just give it up. I don't want my rook to be taken for free, so I give it up for something. Look how quick he's playing all these moves. I then realise I can't take here, take back, because this winning king and pawn endgame for black, quite obviously winning, he probably can do a job on me here in 15 seconds. Let's be real. Lash out with f5, he'll lash out with g5. He'll just shred me open. He's got the passed pawn. I can't generate any sort of counterplay to stall him. I go queen c8, h7, queen c1. He takes with check. You'll notice, if anything, I had 9 minutes to his 3. He's now got 13 seconds left, and he has done enough to get a draw at least. I go king h1, Queen h4 is a repetition, but I know that after king f1, this forces the queen trade, and we get the same thing that I just mentioned, the completely winning king and pawn endgame that I can do absolutely nothing against. But I do go king f1, because I think, well, I've got myself in this much of a shit show, I may as well just lose. What's the point in drawing? Absolutely he would do this. I'm almost certain he would take the draw. But I may as well just lose. I really have messed this up that badly. So let's see if he can convert this. We take, bring my king in so that c-pawn doesn't promote. Try and shut his king away. He's just playing moves very, very fast. H-pawn is going, all the right strategy. This is all pre-moves from him, quite obviously. Takes my pawn here. King b7. I move out the way. He pushes. I mean, really, if you want to secure the draw, just do this. Then you can start pushing. That would be the way to get you the draw, of course. But he pushes. I push. And then he goes queen b6. Queen b6, free move. Pawn has moved forward. And I just take it straight away. How did we get right here? How did we get into this situation where I was up 6 whole minutes on the clock, 9 minutes to 3, and I got starched. I got my arse handed to me. There was a repetition if he wanted it. So many opportunities for a draw, even here, just sacking the queen. But I get the luckiest break of my entire life. And I just gobble the pawns and see I have the time to convert this. Tries to hold on, but there's nothing that can be done. This game is the epitome of panic. Time-induced panic. If I wanted to win this game properly, well, let's dial it back first and foremost. I've got time that I can just use, simply put. Position is evens. I have so much time to burn that I could just use double the amount of time for every move he plays and still be fine. So why rush? Why allow all of this stuff? Why, with 8 minutes on the clock, do I not just breathe, find bishop f4 like I know I should, and we whiz all the way through this, and the position demands that I be bailed out, to be quite frank. Because this should have been, at the very, very minimum, a draw, despite the clock situation. Thank you for watching.